Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story takes us deep into a situation that has stunned the world and reignited fears of a Cold War-style standoff. It all began when Russia conducted a sudden nuclear missile test near Hawaii, sending shockwaves through the Pacific and prompting an immediate and powerful response from the United States. What followed next was nothing short of extraordinary. The US deployed 3 F-35A Lightning II stealth fighters toward Moscow's direction in a move that sent a clear signal of strength and deterrence. This wasn't just another military maneuver. It was a message written across the sky, a reminder that the balance of global power remains on a razor's edge. The tension began quietly. For weeks, U.S. intelligence had picked up chatter about Russian strategic forces preparing for a new weapons test, but no one expected it to happen so close to U.S. territory. Then, without warning, radar systems in the Pacific detected the launch of what appeared to be a submarine-launched ballistic missile near the waters surrounding Hawaii. While Russia later claimed the test was part of a routine exercise of its nuclear deterrent capability, Washington saw it as a dangerous provocation. The timing, location, and sheer audacity of the move raised alarm bells in the Pentagon and among America's allies. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command immediately went on high alert, monitoring the trajectory and analyzing the implications of this unexpected test. Inside the United States, defense analysts were quick to react. The proximity of the launch to Hawaii, home to the U.S. Pacific Fleet, made it clear that Moscow was sending a message. This wasn't just a missile test, it was a strategic statement. Within hours, senior military officials briefed the president and convened an emergency meeting at the White House Situation Room. The response had to be firm but measured. The United States couldn't risk escalating the situation into a direct confrontation, but it also couldn't afford to appear weak in the face of such a blatant challenge. That's when the decision came: send a message back, one that Russia could not ignore. The U.S. Air Force scrambled 3 F-35A Lightning II stealth fighters from a European base under NATO command. These fifth-generation jets, among the most advanced aircraft ever built, were ordered to conduct a high-visibility patrol near the edge of Russian airspace. It was a powerful display of capability and precision and a warning. The F-35s, with their radar, evading design and unmatched situational awareness, symbolized the pinnacle of modern air power. Each jet, capable of carrying both conventional and nuclear payloads, represented not just American strength, but the unity of the entire Western alliance. As they soared eastward, guided by AWACS and refueled midair by KC-135 Stratotankers, the message was unmistakable. The U.S. is ready, watching, and unwilling to be intimidated. Inside the cockpit, the pilots were fully aware of the gravity of their mission. Every flight path, every radar ping, and every radio transmission mattered. The skies over Eastern Europe have become some of the most closely monitored airspaces on the planet, with Russian and NATO aircraft often shadowing each other in tense encounters. The 3 F-35s maintained strict radio silence as they approached the edge of Kaliningrad's air defense zone, a critical Russian stronghold filled with advanced S-400 and S-500 surfaced-ware missile systems. For a few long minutes, global security hung in the balance. Moscow's radar operators detected the stealth jets, but by the time they could react, the F-35s had already executed their patrol route and turned back west, having made their point. The interior of the F-35A is a marvel of technology, sleek, futuristic, and designed for total pilot dominance. The single-piece canopy provides a panoramic view of the horizon, while the helmet-mounted display projects real-time information directly onto the pilot's visor. There are no traditional dials or switches cluttering the cockpit. Instead, everything is controlled through touchscreens and voice commands. In this mission, the pilots relied heavily on diffusion, a system that combines sensor inputs into a single, unified picture of the battlefield. It's not just about flying, it's about controlling the information domain, staying several steps ahead of any potential threat. Performance-wise, the F-35A is unmatched. Powered by a Pratt & Whitney F-135 engine capable of producing 43,000 pounds of thrust, it can reach speeds of Mach 1.6 and operate undetected deep inside enemy territory. Its stealth profile allows it to slip past radar systems that would easily spot older jets, giving the pilot the advantage of first strike or silent surveillance. The jet's combat systems can lock onto multiple targets simultaneously, track enemy fighters, and deliver pinpoint-accurate strikes with laser-guided munitions or air-to-air missiles. But the real strength of the F-35 lies in its ability to network with other assets, satellites, ships, drones, and ground forces, creating a web of shared intelligence that dominates the battle space. Safety and survivability are also top priorities. The F-35A is built with redundant flight systems, self-diagnostic sensors, and an advanced electronic warfare suite that can jam or spoof enemy radar. In case of an emergency, the aircraft's onboard computer can take over critical controls, ensuring the pilot's safety. For this mission, these features weren't just technical bragging rights, they were lifelines. Flying so close to Russian defenses meant that one wrong move could trigger a dangerous response. Every system had to work perfectly, every command executed flawlessly. What made this operation particularly unique was its symbolism. The U.S. wasn't attacking or threatening to strike. Instead, it was demonstrating restraint wrapped in power. The flight of 3 F-35 as represented the precision and discipline of modern deterrence, a reminder that technology and resolve go hand in hand. Unlike older generations of jets, the F-35 doesn't just represent military might. It embodies intelligence, strategy, and adaptability. By sending these aircraft toward Moscow's periphery, the U.S. effectively said, "We see you, we're ready, but we prefer peace." The political world quickly took notice. Moscow issued a brief statement condemning what it called provocative actions by NATO forces, while simultaneously downplaying its own missile test near Hawaii as a routine strategic readiness drill. Meanwhile, American and European officials reaffirmed their commitment to collective defense, emphasizing that deterrence remains the cornerstone of global stability. Analysts on both sides recognized the delicate balance at play. If the U.S. had ignored the missile test, it would have appeared weak. If it had responded too aggressively, it might have sparked a direct confrontation. The deployment of the F-35 has struck a careful middle ground, assertive enough to maintain deterrence, but measured enough to avoid escalation. Experts around the world pointed out that this episode underscores a new era of strategic competition. Unlike the Cold War, where lines were drawn by ideology and geography, today's rivalries are driven by technology, information, and precision power projection. The F-35's presence near Russian borders wasn't just a show of force. It was a demonstration of how the U.S. can project deterrence globally within hours. As one defense analyst put it, the message was clear: no matter where you test, the U.S. can reach you. As news of the incident spread, public reaction was mixed. Some Americans expressed pride in their country's swift and decisive response, praising the professionalism of the Air Force and the deterrent value of advanced aircraft like the F-35. Others worried that such actions risked provoking an already volatile situation with a nuclear-armed superpower. Around the world, allies in Europe and Asia quietly took note of how the U.S. managed the crisis, signaling to both adversaries and friends that America still maintains the will and capability to protect its interests and those of its partners. The price tag of the F-35 program, long criticized for its cost, suddenly looked like a worthwhile investment in moments like this. Each jet costs around $80 million, with the full system including maintenance, software, and support running into billions. Yet, when geopolitical stability hangs in the balance, that investment becomes an insurance policy for peace. The operational flexibility of the F-35, capable of striking targets, gathering intelligence, and coordinating entire missions, makes it one of the most valuable tools in the modern U.S. arsenal. As the jets returned safely to base, the immediate crisis appeared to cool, but the underlying tension remains. Russia's missile test near Hawaii has raised serious questions about its intentions and about the future of nuclear arms control agreements that have long served as guardrails for global security. The U.S., meanwhile, continues to refine its strategies for rapid response and flexible deterrence in multiple theaters, from the Pacific to Eastern Europe. The world may have narrowly avoided a major escalation this time, but the incident served as a stark reminder that peace remains fragile and must be actively defended. In the end, this entire episode reveals how modern power operates not just through weapons, but through perception. The F-35A didn't need to fire a shot to achieve its mission. Its very presence, stealthy and precise, was enough to shift the narrative and restore balance. The United States made its point clearly: it will not tolerate intimidation near its borders or its allies. Yet it also demonstrated restraint, ensuring that the confrontation remained a message rather than a conflict. As global watchers continue to analyze the implications of these events, one thing is certain: the world has entered a new chapter of strategic competition, where the line between deterrence and danger grows ever thinner. The skies have once again become a stage for diplomacy through power, where every flight path tells a story and every maneuver carries meaning. The F-35s may have returned to base, but the echoes of their flight still resonate in Moscow, Washington, and beyond. And as long as the world's superpowers continue to test each other's limits, the dance between deterrence and diplomacy will continue high above the clouds, where silence can speak louder than words.